See how I double boil the tea, the water, Hamish? Make sure everything's very hot. That's how you get a good cup of tea. This is milk, Hamish. I put milk in the tea. 12 ml of milk. I used to smoke 2 cigarettes with my cup of tea. Now I only smoke 1 because I'm so disciplined. Because of the medication that I'm on, I shake. And sometimes I can't even roll a cigarette when it's really bad. Today it's quite good. It could be because I've reduced my medication a little bit. When I'm up, manic, I reduce a couple of tablets off my list.
Are you up at the moment?
Mm-hmm. I'm on fire. This is me, good, just as good as it gets. I can't be beaten. I'm indestructible. My name is Rupert. I'm 65 and I've got bipolar, but I'm also a very nice person. When I first saw this place, I loved it. It's just so good with the colours, and the retro look of the house suits all the stuff that I've got because I collect sort of random old stuff. You're either really, really depressed or you're really happy, and both of them aren't good. All through my life I've known about depression, but I didn't fully recognise the manic side of it. This is the lounge room. I love my music. There's all sorts of weird and wonderful things in here. I didn't realise I was bipolar. I always knew I was depressed, but I didn't realise I was bipolar, and that came about only about 8 years ago when I went to a psychiatrist. I remember it being disappointing because I just didn't want to be bipolar, because I knew that it was a lot worse than just being depressed. So, yes, something that I denied in myself. This is for curling your hair, which doesn't mean much to me. Well, at the moment, I'm in the manic stage, and when you're manic, everything's wonderful, and you're full of beans, full of energy, and feel positive about things, and I charge around and I do heaps, and I've got lists of things I need to do, and I'm very constructive. This is where I hide all my toys. Might last a couple of weeks, might last a couple of months. It's a bit of an unknown quantity. This is my mountain bike. And underneath here, we have my race bike. I've only just had my first meeting on this bike at Baskerville. It was terrifying. It's bloody fast. Faster than any other motorbike I've had. I've had about 85 motorbikes, and so I've been riding since I was 16. Enough of that. The danger of being manic is that sometimes you do stuff that you don't need to do. You can burn yourself out. You can make mistakes, but it's quite enjoyable. The other side of that is when you get depressed, and when I'm depressed, it's not unusual for me to stay in bed till 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I only eat once a day because I just can't be fucked. This is my bedroom. You can tell it's a bedroom because there's the bed. This is where I sleep. I sleep a lot. I go into comas at times. My record is 3 days in bed without eating or smoking. All I do is get up, go to the loo, and yeah, that's all I do. that's when I'm bad.
You wake up one morning, having been depressed out of your mind for ages, and you wake up one morning and you feel, ooh, I feel a little bit better. And then you wake up the next day and you go, wow, I'm back. And you're in it. And then again, it doesn't come down slowly either. You'll be feeling manic and getting lots of things done and having a good time. And then you'll wake up one morning and go, uh-oh, something's not right. You wake up the next morning and you're full on depressed.
Do you realise this Hue and Pine out here is about 35 years old, Hamish? They look good and very good in Japanese gardens.
When do you feel like your most authentic self?
I think when I'm up, really, is more my authentic self, because that's the way everybody likes me, and that's the way I am. If I go to a party, I can be the life of the party, and I feel like I'm true to character, and that's when I do things. You know, I ran a business for years. I've made sculpture and stuff like that, and when I'm up, I can do that sort of stuff.
I was a landscape gardener for many, many years. This is the backyard, which is a bit of a disaster because the weeds just grow like nothing else. This is meant to be a gravelled area, and as you can see, the weeds have just gone ballistic.
It's just such a relief to be happy, and basically when I'm up, I'm happy. At the moment, I'm depressed a lot more than I'm up. So you could say that depressed was the more common side of me, but there's always a best case and a worst case scenario, and when you're depressed, you're just in the worst case scenario. You've got no appetite for excitement, no appetite for sex, no appetite for food. Bad news is always on my mind when I'm depressed. I've tried to commit suicide 4 times.
Do you mind talking about those?
Well, the first time, bought a packet of sleeping tablets, and I went into the toilet and I could feel myself starting to go under, and this song came into my head by Sting. Every breath she makes, every move you make, I'll be watching you. And it was like a chant in my head, and first I could see Ria's face, then I could see your face, and I lost consciousness. Then I woke up about an hour later covered in piss. The second time I put a pipe on the exhaust pipe of my car, put it in the window, and it wasn't doing anything. And I even had the pipe and I stuck it in my mouth. I was trying to get as much fumes into me as I could, but it wouldn't work. And I bloody got out, slammed the door. I was really pissed off and went to bed. About a week later, I was talking to a mate of mine, Ian, and he said, "How have you been?" And I said, "Oh, not real good. I tried to top myself again." He said, "What did you do?" And I said, "Oh, I tried to gas myself in the ute." And he said, "You fucking idiot. You can't kill yourself in a diesel. You need a petrol." He's very sympathetic. The third attempt was when I went into the shed and I started my motorbike and I sat behind it on a chair and waited to die. And I could feel myself dying, and I thought, "You beauty, I've done it." And then the motor cut out, the bike had overheated. And another time, the fourth time, I hung around on top of this cliff for most of a day, wanting to jump off the cliff, but I just couldn't do it. Yeah. I'm not very good at it. I'm shit at it. It was after that suicidal thoughts were just coming at me all the time. So I decided I put myself into the Royal, into the psych ward, and they put me on some heavy duty drugs and zonked me out. So in the end, I had 8 bouts of electric shock treatment, and I was in there for 28 days in the end. Yeah, it worked. I got better, although it did affect my memory. I know my memory's a bit shot, and I think that had something to do with it. But it saved my life in some ways, so I'm not complaining.
And do you still get suicidal thoughts?
Yeah. I still get suicidal thoughts. I mean, like this year I had 80 days when I was depressed for 80 days in a row, and I got quite suicidal at times during that period. And but I have been worse. The mania does vary, but I do think I've got some sort of control over that, and I can manage it a little bit more now than I used to be able to. Zarkon started life as your dad when he was very young, and I used to chase you and Rhea around the room saying, "My name is Zarkon, I will destroy you." And then about 12 years ago, I went to a party, and it was a blue party. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll shave my head and go as a blue man. I'd like people who have mental illness to feel some affiliation with Zarkon. I've had people come up and say, my son killed himself last year, and seeing you here has made it a bit easier for us. Thank you very much. And you have little conversations with people all the time about depression and stuff. And you know you're doing some good. You've got to talk about it with all sorts of people. You need to open yourself up to change, and instead of doing what I did, which was to mask it and hide it. And, so I denied the fact that I had a mental illness. Where I am now is the best I have been for a long, long period of time. So I'd like to think that I am in a better spot and that I am getting better. Okay. I want to tell you about my condition. Please talk to me. You don't need permission. I know I'm not the only one who sometimes struggles to have fun. My problem is I've got bipolar. I told my bro, he said I could have told you. When you're depressed, you're just so sad. And when you're manic, you're completely mad. You think you're funny and bulletproof, but let me tell you, it's far from the truth. You spend lots of money you haven't got. You talk flat out, don't know when to stop. Inappropriate jokes and too many smokes. You're so full on, you scare lots of folks. I want to. If someone's depressed, it needs action. Don't let them stew in dissatisfaction. I know you don't quite know what to do, so just be there, just be you. Don't offer much advice, keep it simple. Would you like a cup of tea? Can I pop that pimple? I want to. Mania requires different treatment before they bury themselves in excrement. Please be gentle, but point things out. Be logical, tell them, but don't shout. They won't want to hear it, but do it anyway. Keep them on the path, don't let them stray. I want to. I have been to hell and back, not one black dog, the whole fucking pack. Vicious bastards, very persistent, but I become more resistant. I now tell people with conviction the truth about this shit affliction. The more you know, the more you can help. Let's kick this dog and hear him yelp. I want to.
Nice. That's great. You good?
Yeah.